It's fizzy, it's foamy, and strangely enough it's called beer even though there's no alcohol in it. For millions of Americans, it's a childhood favorite, but a bit confusing if you've never grown up with it. So what exactly is root beer? If you're imagining a frothy pint at the pub, you're not totally wrong, but you're not totally right either. Hey there, I'm Frank, and welcome to Secrets of Simple Things. Here, we uncover the fascinating stories hiding behind everyday objects, from the food on your table to the glass in your hand. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us as we explore the timeless secrets tucked inside the simplest things. Root beer is a curious blend of American nostalgia, herbal medicine, and a touch of marketing genius. What began as a simple homemade tonic, brewed with roots and hope, would eventually become one of America's most iconic sodas. And it reminds us of something bigger. Sometimes, a name can outlive its origins and even redefine them. The taste, it's unique. Sweet, a little earthy, with notes of vanilla, wintergreen, and licorice. Depending on the recipe, you might even catch a hint of cinnamon, nutmeg, or clove. And if you've ever had a root beer float, that creamy mix of soda and ice cream, you already know the kind of magic we're talking about. But here's the twist. Modern commercial root beer isn't really made from roots anymore. Today's mass-produced versions rely on artificial flavorings and sweeteners to recreate that old-fashioned blend. Still, the essence remains a dark, sweet, slightly spicy soda that tastes like nothing else on the shelf. So where did this strange drink come from? Root beer actually has medicinal roots, literally. Before it was a soda, root beer was medicine, a homemade remedy brewed slowly over the fire. Long before factories and bottling lines, Native American communities used roots like sassafras and sarsaparilla for their believed healing powers, to soothe aches, cleanse the blood, or simply revive the spirit. When European settlers arrived, they learned these herbal traditions and began brewing their own versions at home. Sometimes it was a tonic, other times a lightly fermented small beer, a safe, low-alcohol alternative to untreated water, which back then could make you sicker than the drink itself. In the 18th and 19th centuries, these homemade brews evolved into what people called small beers, low-alcohol drinks made from herbs, barks, or even bread and molasses. They weren't brewed for parties, but for safety. In a time when water could make you sick, a mild, fermented drink was often the smarter choice. Among those countless mixtures, one made with sassafras root stood out, the one that would eventually become root beer. Now here's the part that confuses everyone. Why call it beer? Despite the name, most root beer today contains no alcohol at all. But that wasn't always the case. Originally, root beer was lightly fermented, fizzy, mildly alcoholic, and brewed in much the same way as ginger beer or birch beer. It earned the beer label not because it could get you drunk, but because of the process and that irresistible bubbly character. When commercial bottling took over in the late 19th century, fermentation was mostly removed to make it safer, sweeter, and more shelf-stable. But the name stuck, and honestly, it worked. Beer gave this sweet, foamy drink a sense of maturity, a little edge, a little adulthood, even though it was perfectly safe for kids to enjoy. By the late 1800s, America was changing, factories were booming, and the line between medicine and marketing was starting to blur. Then came one man who turned a humble homebrew into a national icon. His name was Charles Hyers, a young pharmacist from Philadelphia who believed deeply in the healing power of herbs and roots. In the 1870s, Hyers created a powdered mix that, when boiled with water and sugar, produced a fragrant root tea. When he began bottling it for the public, he made one small but brilliant move. He called it root beer. Not because it had alcohol, it didn't, but because the name beer carried a sense of strength, identity, and familiarity, especially for working-class men used to drinking real beer. And he was right. His root beer became a sensation, a drink that felt bold and grown up, yet wholesome enough for families and kids alike. Then came the Prohibition era, a time when alcohol was outlawed across the United States. Suddenly, the word beer lost its scandal and gained new meaning. Root beer wasn't just tolerated, it was celebrated. A beer you could drink freely, proudly, and publicly. A small comfort in a dry nation. By the early 20th century, root beer had become a fixture in soda fountains everywhere. Soon, brands like A&W, Barks, and Mug entered the scene, each adding their own twist, but keeping the same sweet, foamy soul that Charles Hyers first bottled decades earlier. One of the most defining flavors in early root beer came from the sassafras tree. Its root bark gave the drink that warm, woodsy aroma that so many people still associate with the classic taste. But there was a catch. Sassafras contains a compound called safrole, which scientists later discovered could cause cancer in lab animals. So, in the 1960s, the US FDA banned the use of natural sassafras in food and beverages. Manufacturers had no choice but to reformulate their recipes, replacing the natural roots with artificial flavors or safrole-free extracts. The result? Safer, more consistent sodas, but according to some fans, a little less soulful. Still, the love for that old flavor never really went away. Even today, if you find a bottle of craft root beer, there's a good chance the brewers are chasing that nostalgic taste, trying to capture the warmth, the spice, and the memory of how root beer used to be. Even as root beer's ingredients changed, its place in American life didn't fade. If anything, it became even more iconic thanks to a new kind of magic bubbling up across the country. Welcome to the golden age of soda fountains. From the late 1800s through the mid-1900s, these marble counters and shiny chrome taps were the social heart of small-town America. Before cafes and fast food chains, the soda fountain was where everyone gathered to cool off on a summer day, share the latest gossip, or maybe meet someone special. It was the perfect mix of medicine, refreshment, and a little bit of showmanship. And standing proudly on every menu was root beer, a drink that felt grown-up but stayed innocent, a little fizzy escape from the seriousness of adult life. The root beer float, topped with a scoop of melting vanilla ice cream, became the symbol of simple joy. Teenagers sipped it between jukebox songs, families shared it after Sunday service, and couples toasted with it on warm 4th of July nights. In that golden light, root beer wasn't just a drink, it was America, bottled. And maybe that's why, even as the world changed, root beer remained one of America's most beloved flavors, a taste of community, memory, and something unmistakably American. Interestingly, root beer is a distinctly North American phenomenon. Outside the US, the flavor often leaves people puzzled. Across Europe and Asia, many describe it as tasting like toothpaste or cough syrup. That's mostly because of the wintergreen and menthol-like notes in some recipes, flavors that in other parts of the world are used in medicine, not in sweets. But in America, it's different. For millions, root beer isn't just a soda, it's a memory in a bottle. A sip that takes you back to childhood summers, ice cream floats, and shiny chrome soda fountains humming on a hot afternoon. And even though the taste might confuse the rest of the world, for Americans it's something deeply comforting, a sweet, fizzy echo of simpler times. So, is root beer actually beer? Not anymore. The name beer today is purely historical, a stylistic echo of its fizzy past. It's a nod to its origins, not its ingredients. Sure, there are hard root beers out there now, craft brewers who've brought alcohol back into the mix, but those are novelties, not what you'll find in your neighborhood grocery store. So there you have it, the strange, sweet, and storied journey of root beer. It's not quite tea, not quite soda, and definitely not beer in the modern sense. Yet behind that creamy foam lies centuries of herbal tradition, a clever name that stuck thanks to marketing, and a flavor that still sparks curiosity today. Whether you love it or you just can't quite wrap your taste buds around it, root beer remains one of those rare things that captures a unique slice of American culture. And maybe it reminds us that even the simplest things, a fizzy drink, a label, a flavor, can have surprisingly deep roots. Hey, it's Frank. Thanks for sticking around till the end of this fizzy little story. I hope you enjoyed learning why root beer isn't really beer, and maybe never needed to be. If you had fun diving into the history behind an ordinary drink, tell me in the comments, what beverage should we uncover next? Maybe something mysterious, forgotten, or just sitting quietly in your fridge right now. Your idea might just become our next episode here on Secrets of Simple Things. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and stay curious, because sometimes the smallest things hide the biggest stories. Before we wrap up, just a quick note. Our team uses research from reliable sources, public archives, and AI tools to bring these stories to life as accurately as possible. Still, small errors or omissions can happen, so if you spot something we could improve, please share it kindly in the comments. We read every note and truly appreciate your insights. This video is created for educational and entertainment purposes only. We fully comply with YouTube's community guidelines and content policies. Our goal is to spark curiosity, not controversy, and to celebrate the beauty of simple things together.